I knew I shouldn't have felt like things were getting better. James gritted his teeth as he quickly removed his pack. He tossed his pack close to where Maya was standing, ready with an arrow nock. In front of them were several forest cats heading their way, their bodies seeming to blend in with their surroundings even while they moved. It was slightly tricky trying to distinguish them due to their natural camouflage. James quickly counted them. "There are 10, he cursed. If the others were with them, such numbers would only be problematic, but only with the two of them, challenging would be an understatement. "You going to be able to take care of 4 of them?" James quickly looked at Maya. Understanding their situation, Maya gritted her teeth. "What's the plan?" she asked. "I'll need to try to keep as many of them away from you as possible. Since Kate isn't here to tank them, I'll be taking that role." James spat out the waking leaf out of his mouth. "You just focus on the ones I can't attract." Hearing what James' plan was, Maya frowned but didn't argue. She was aware that the situation didn't afford them their regular strategies. Maya fired an arrow at one of the closer forest cats. It tumbled from having its shoulder wounded. Immediately, she grabbed another arrow and had it ready, firing it after she aimed for her next target. Even with Maya taking out one of them, at least to the point where it wouldn't be as much of a threat, James knew that the situation wasn't much better. Taking a deep breath and anticipating the injuries he'd be getting, James mentally pumped himself. He dashed towards a cluster of the monsters. He kept himself large with both arms out, trying to make himself appear larger and attract as much attention as possible. A few of the forest cats looked at him. One of the forest cats seemed to ignore him and make its way towards where Maya was standing, firing arrows. Snarling, James threw the dagger as hard as he could at the creature. Even if it meant losing one of his weapons, he knew that letting the thing get close to Maya wasn't an option. Whether it was due to his anger or the waking leaf he chewed on, the dagger flew true and penetrated the nearest eye of the monster. As it dropped, it was clear that the blade pierced the brain. His daggers weren't explicitly designed to be thrown, so they weren't balanced as well. So he mentally cheered, seeing that another monster was taken down. There were now only 7 they had to deal with. James was glad to see that 4 of them were heading over to where he was standing. "I guess you're going to take me seriously, huh?" James viciously grinned at the monsters before running towards them with only one dagger in hand. Having attracted the attention of the monsters, he could now focus on trying to keep the injury to himself to a minimum. As one of the monsters leapt at him, James lowered himself and twisted his body. The first paw flew past him. A whistling sound was heard as the claw cut through the air. But as he got ready to slash the monster's belly open, James felt his shoulder being pushed back. It was fortunate that James had committed to the action, or he could have toppled over. Stabbing the blade into the underbelly, he only felt a slight resistance from the flesh and muscle as warm blood sprayed across his face.